I think that the dream that I put on hold was definitely exploring myself as a creative and artist to the most that I can be. But when I really sat down to think about what my passion in life was and what it was that I really wanted to accomplish, I realized that in myself, I really want to be a whole person. And it's no longer, oh, I want to be a recording star or a celebrity or anything like that, but I want to be fulfilled, I want to be whole, I want to be healthy, happy, and just doing what it is that I do and letting that take me wherever it's going to take me. I think that you can't be a whole person when you're not doing those things that are core to you, whatever they are. And even in this short period of time, I realized how much more present I am with my family, with my kids, with my husband. My mom and my grandmother, and my father's mother, who died when I was an infant, I'm sure they had dreams that went unrealized because my mother's in her 80s, and my grandmother would be she died in her 90s, and that was almost 10 years ago. But I don't think that you talked about your dreams like that. I don't think I think survival was the name of the game as opposed to following after, whatever it was in your heart. And to this day, I have no idea what my mother really wanted to accomplish in her life. My daughter would be able to tell you probably, my mom is a singer or she plays the guitar. I don't know if she would be able to articulate it because of her age, it being a passion or a dream. But as she gets older, she'll definitely, be able to recognize or understand what it was that I wanted to do. When I was 7 years old, about 7 years old, the first time that I ever thought about suicide. I was very young, and even though it wasn't anything that was as much in the media and the news as it is today, it was something that crossed my mind. And so when I was thinking back on it, I struggled with depression for as long as I can remember, even as a little girl. And I can say that, I'm married, I have 3 kids, I have 2 dogs, I had a job, I had work in ministry, I had this, that, and the other. But when it really boils down to it, I think I really do feel like suffering from depression for so long, and to a point where it could be so debilitating, that really was what prevented me from really being able to get the stamina and the energy and the diligence to be able to fulfill and pursue the things that I knew that I wanted to do. It's hard to navigate suffering from depression and kind of being able to pursue other things, because you really have to get yourself to a place of mental health. And when you're not in that place, no matter what you do and no matter how good you are at it, it just doesn't come about. So for me, I really had to focus on acknowledging the depression in a different way. All my life I would point to things, like, oh, well, my father died, and then this happened and that happened. And when I was 8 years ago, I was pregnant with twins, and I lost one of the babies far into the pregnancy. So that I could point to. But it just kind of all came to a head about 5 years ago, and I had to look at it a different way and realize that it is not just these situations that have thrown me off my game, but that there's an undercurrent of depression that just runs through my life. And so I had to, for the first time, had to recognize that suffering from depression or not suffering from depression is more than just a matter of your will. Because you grow up, especially in the African American community, even more. I mean, it's prevalent in culture all over, but the idea that just snap out of it. If you snap out of it, and if you're in a any sort of religious community or spiritual community, it's like, well, pray more or fast more, or you're not doing all the things that you should do, so the fault always lays on you. I remember distinctly the day that I lost the baby, because I kind of knew something was going on. And I remember laying on the gurney. They're taking me to the operating room because Noelle started to go into distress. And I'm laying on the gurney and I'm looking at these lights flashing by, the hall lights. And it just dawned on me, I'm like, life is so short, and it's so short, and it's so valuable. And here I am doing all of this stuff that I don't want to do in the first place, just because it's expected of me. And it was amazing. I mean, I remember that moment so clearly. I'm not doing this stuff anymore. I didn't dress the way I wanted to. I didn't look like myself. And so when I got out of the hospital, I'm like, I'm going to start wearing the clothes that I wear, which are vintage clothes. And I started buying them, and then I started buying too much, and then next thing you know, so that's how my business started. And it kind of has, it was the little door that I needed to, because after that I started writing again, and one thing led to another, and because it's all connected. I mean, it's all connected, who you are as a person and how you express yourself. Because of how old my kids are right now, I think that, and my hope is that realizing your dreams or doing what it is that you do, whatever it is, that it's natural and it's instinctual, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
My name is Melanie Woodard, and I'm passionate about acting. Well, I grew up in Washington, D.C. My mom was not emotionally where I feel like I needed her to be, and my dad was an alcoholic, though he provided. My mom, she really took care of us. I'm a single mom to my daughter Tremaine, who's now 27. When she was younger, she played basketball. I was excited about that because I loved the sport, but could never play it. And the activities that I put her in, yes, I was living vicariously through her. Then she took up acting. She's actually in L.A. pursuing her dream of acting. I believe it's the self-doubt and the feeling of unworthiness. It's almost like you hiding. I was hiding behind everyone else's passion. I think that is because deep down inside, I didn't trust or didn't believe that much in myself. The soul is where your truth lies. And I just have to be more intentional on tapping into that as opposed to what I'm thinking or feeling. keep telling myself to enjoy the process, but to also be involved in the process of my life, because it is just that, it's my life, and be just as excited for myself as I am for others. Is it me I see in you? Is it me I see when I look at you for the first time and wonder, who are you? And what will you be like in the world? Is it me I see when I watch you take your first step and ponder all the places you will go and hope you don't experience pain? Is it me I see when I tell you to stop crying, suppressing your true feelings? Is it me I see when you want to join that team and I hesitate, fearful that you will get hurt or not be as good as the others? Or is it me I see when I see you for the first time and I say you are amazing and you will do great things? Or is it me I see when I watch you take your first step and I visualize you going places and experiencing life to the fullest? Or is it me I see when I tell you, go ahead and cry, it is healing and will strengthen you? Or is it me I see when you want to join that team and I support you with all my heart, encouraging you to do you? I hope that is the me I see, because that is the me that loves me unconditionally. That is the me that is free to be me while loving you.
My name is Stephanie Paz. Right now, I'm a medical assistant. I like what I'm doing right now. It's not my passion, it's not what I picture myself doing, but I have lots of responsibilities. My dream, it started, I first wanted to be a ballerina, classical ballet. When I grew up in Puerto Rico, I attended a ballet school from the time I was 10 years old until I was 16. And I love every day of it. I got to dance ballet and other types of dance every day. My mom was very supportive. My mother thought it would be a good idea if I tried that ballet school. I could do all my classes, all my subjects, and also I got to learn ballet and jazz and different dances like hip hop and break dance. They had different ones, but the main dance was ballet. And it was just me and the music every day. But unfortunately, we didn't have like the kind of money, and my parents didn't have the time because they worked too much to take me to all the recitals and everything that had to do with ballet. I moved to the States in the summer of 2001. It was a big culture shock because I did not speak the language. We didn't have the money, or our English was so limited we couldn't find the resources or a way for me to continue with dance. My main priority was to learn the language, and that took up most of the time. I started working when I was 16 years old in retail. I would go part-time for a few hours on the weekends and started trying to make some money to go to college and save for a computer or books. So I pretty much had to provide for myself as far as clothing and shoes and any other things. At first I felt like it didn't affect me much because there were so many things happening. We had to find a place to live. My mother needed a job. My dad was the only income. I needed to enroll in school. So many things were happening at the same time that I didn't have time to pretty much feel sad about me not being able to continue with ballet or doing what I loved. Who am I right now? That's a good question. I think I'm still trying to find myself and what I'm comfortable doing. I'm glad and I'm happy that I have a job and that I have good income to provide for myself and my kids. But I feel like there is something missing. I still feel like I want to dance. I still want to feel the music. It's just, I feel happy, but there's always something missing. I feel like I could be doing that as well. But at times I feel a little guilty because I have kids and this is pretty much their time and their dreams, not mine. I'm sorry. My daughter is 9 and my son is 6. My daughter wanted to be a ballerina just like me, and at first we started with some lessons, and then again you have priorities and you have things that you have to do, so we couldn't continue. But I'm hoping in the future we can restart that again, because she has seen my pictures and my recitals and she wants to do it as well. And my son, he loves baseball and he's really good at it. And I just hope one day I can just continue inspiring them and have them work hard for their dream. I always saw my mother work so hard and trying to support whatever we wanted to do for my sisters and myself. She always wanted to be a swimmer and she was really good, but then came a time that she had to give that up to take care of my dad and the family and everything that you need to do on a daily basis for your family. I feel like my time has passed and it's time for my kids to accomplish their dreams. Some friends will tell me that, it's not too late, that I can continue and still dance, even if it's just for fun. Something to do. It doesn't have to be always work and kids. I should take time for myself. But I still feel a little guilty. I feel like I should work and help them with everything they need, and they should be my main focus. I would like to find a time to get back to dancing. Right now it's kind of difficult because I went back to school. I am working on my major in nursing. I'm working full-time as well, and I have to also help my children every day after school. But I'm going to try my hardest to find some more time for myself. Even if it's just once a week, I can just take a class. I think that'll make me happier. I think that'll make a difference for me. And I think my kids will really appreciate that, instead of the rush and the craziness that we have every day of the week. I think they'll be really happy to see that I'm following my dream, and they will be inspired too. They'll see that nothing is impossible, that they can work hard and still work, go to school, do sports, and in the future when they are adults, they'll have that sense of accomplishment. I see a spotlight on me, a room full of people, and I'm wearing the most beautiful tutu, and everybody's just so amazed and enjoying what I'm doing. And I feel better and I feel happy just listening to all the applause from the audience. That's what I picture myself doing.
So 9 months from now, you'll see it'll be projects that it could be acting, it could be, and I guess I'm gonna be held to that, because they say once you write it down, write the vision, you make it plain. You gotta be accountable. So I thank you for that. There'll be a difference. I just can't verbalize it right now.
Well, in the next 9 months, to be honest, I've already started, and I'm pretty confident about where I am as far as re-engaging musically and getting out there and singing. I never stopped singing, but it was always in church, and which is one form of expression, but singing my own songs and singing with the band and stuff. So I've kind of started that already.
I would like to find the time to get back to dancing. Right now it's kind of difficult because I went back to school. I am working on my major in nursing. I'm working full-time as well, and I have to also help my children every day after school. But I'm going to try my hardest to find some more time for myself, even if it's just once a week. I can just take a class. I think that'll make me happier. I think that'll make a difference for me, and I think my kids will really appreciate that instead of the rush and the craziness that we have every day of the week. I think they'll be really happy to see that I'm following my dream, and they will be inspired too. They'll see that nothing is impossible, that they can work hard and still work, go to school, do sports, and in the future when they are adults, they'll have that sense of accomplishment.